Have you ever wondered why God cares more about the heart behind what we do, rather than just the action itself? Today, we're looking at one of the very first stories after Adam and Eve, the story of two brothers, Cain and Abel. It's a story of jealousy, anger, and consequences. But it's also a story that reveals something about the human heart and what God truly desires from us. Adam and Eve, after being cast out of the Garden of Eden, started their family. Their first son was Cain, a farmer who worked the ground. Their second son was Abel, who became a shepherd and cared for the flocks. In time, both brought an offering to the Lord. Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil. Abel, however, brought the very best, the fat portions from the firstborn of his flock. And here's where the story takes a turn. God looked with favor on Abel's offering, but not on Cain's. Why? Because Abel gave with faith and a willing heart, offering his very best. Cain's offering, on the other hand, came from cursed ground and lacked the devotion God was looking for. Imagine Cain's face as he realized his gift was not accepted. His jealousy and anger burned inside of him. But God, in his mercy, spoke directly to Cain, saying, "Why are you angry? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." This was a warning, a lifeline. God was telling Cain, "You're at a crossroads. You can either turn to me with the right heart, or you can let sin control you." Sadly, Cain chose the wrong path. He invited Abel into the field. And there, out of jealousy and rage, Cain attacked and killed his own brother, the first murder in human history. Later, God asked him, "Where is your brother Abel?" And Cain responded with those famous words, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But God knew. He said, "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." As judgment, God cursed Cain. The ground he worked would no longer yield crops for him, and he would become a restless wanderer on the earth. And yet, even here, God showed mercy. He placed a mark on Cain to protect him from being killed by others. Justice was given, but mercy was still offered. What I take from this story is that God doesn't just care about what we give, but the why. Abel gave from faith, honor, and love. Cain gave out of duty, without devotion. This shows us something about worship. God doesn't want leftovers. He wants our first and our best, not just in offerings, but in our time, our love, our obedience. Cain's second mistake was letting jealousy and anger take over. Instead of correcting his heart, he compared himself to Abel, and envy grew into hate. But here's the lesson. Jealousy blinds us to God's blessings in our own life. It makes us focus on what we don't have instead of what we do. And if we let it, it can destroy not only our relationships, but also our own walk with God. God's warning to Cain applies to us too. Sin is crouching at your door. Temptation is always waiting for the right moment. That means we can't act on every impulse or emotion. We must pause, pray, and choose obedience over reaction. If this story spoke to you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Bible stories and reflections. And always remember, God sees your heart.